Beautiful, divine masculine, and feminine darlings. This is the Seraph Gem Gypsy, SeraFae Indigo Empress, and Shiloh Horizon. I don't plan to be here for too long. Terrible spot. Hold on. Better. Happy Halloween. Hold on. Tinkerbell purse. And a little mystical mini grinder. I think I might take my shoes off. Butterflies. Let me take these shoes off. To unlace my shoes. Shall we? Cheers. Cheers. That one's a little tricky with the wings. Delray used to call that the walk the dog with the wig wag. It's not what it's called. But I always thought it was cute and it was funny. Butterflies. Oh. I'm not sure why these aren't working. I just charged them and put new batteries in. That's very strange. Are they all dead? Those are brand new batteries. I have a remote for this and none of them are working right now. So that's the setting it's on, which is, it is what it is. Let's see. Will we have, shall we? I'm curious. Hi, baby kitty. As far as the costume goes, Duality Fairy. You see, she is hellfire and she is holy water. And the flavor you taste depends solely on how you decide to treat her first. Del Rey. The moon. The moon on his urn. I love you to the moon and back. There's maybe baby Freya up there. But you have got the Gemini, right? This is one half of my personality. This is the other. Duality Fairy. Awakening, awareness. So you've got, let me just lay these out. Divine Masculine, first and foremost. Is what I'm picking up. And he is activated and awakened. This is something that these karmic people did not want, specifically. Quite the opposite. He's also aware, I picked this up earlier, of the attacks that they were sending through. He may not have been up to par before, but now he knows what they are and what to recognize. I also know that he didn't notice the first round of attacks that they were sending or what they were until he did. The second time they sent them, he recognized what it was right away. And then they rounded up. They sent another wave of attacks that was worse than the first, and it's just the same cycle that they always do, but it was seemingly new to him, except for, again, now he recognizes what that is and where it's coming from, and that it's interference energy, and frankly, it pisses him off, from what I picked up, because he feels like people are trying to come between his connection, and they're trying to play around and muddle and confuse the energy of the light workers and the twins, and he's right. They are. So there's that. Kitty, don't be crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to spook you with the lights. That must have looked like a flying saucer for a minute. Deception, yeah, there it is. Like I said, let me lay these out really quickly. But that's all it is. It's just confusion energy. So let's clear it out. Valuable. These people are upset because they don't feel very valuable. I don't see them as very valuable either. Guarded. They are not. Stop that. They are not valuable. They seek to harm or obtain access to light workers who they do, in fact, deem valuable. It's because they're wounded, and it's why they seek to wound others. Let's see. Distracted, doubt. So they are distracted because now they're scared, this says, because they know that they have no power, that the light workers are multitasking, and they also are, flight is here, so they're possibly moving. In some cases, actually up in transporting locations. But in other cases, this is light workers just getting away from them, even energetically. And they're concerned and scared because they have no authority. I hear that they thought that they did, though. Well, I'm not sorry to burst that delusional bubble. But they're about to be. Okay, now let us see. I feel like there's a bridge point. I do have a romance deck over here, but we'll pull that momentarily. It's so bright in my face. In the meantime, see how to clear this energy in space. Work ethic. Well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm here, aren't I? Skills. You know I'm here so late? Ooh, because I spent my evening mostly cleaning the house and preparing for tomorrow and being productive. Prophetic dreams. So that I could play without obstruction, which I did. Ended up being a little bit later. Played some dress up and makeup. Hello. But I will still be able to run through the shower right after, wash this all off, and go get some good sleep. Prophetic dreams. I'll probably be back tomorrow with some dream prophecy for you. In fact, maybe a little later. It's 2 o'clock in the morning again, but I'll be here. Work ethic. Clairalience. Also, these karmics are spooked because I've been picking up different scents to tell me what's going on. Like when they're anxiously chain smoking, I'll smell cigarettes. Alchemists. So they're upset because we are alchemizing and shifting and adjusting this energy. Don't fight. Come here. Sounds like somebody needs a nap. It's kind of my fault that they're up right now. But it's Halloween, for goodness sake. I've been working all year. It's time to relax for a few minutes. Missionary. That's why I'm here. Warrior. Because I picked up that karmic energy. And so do they, Zoomies. I feel it. Freya is also a warrior goddess. Love, beauty. It's like the Norse version of Aphrodite. But he got up there and he unplugged the love light. That's warring behavior. Service. So I chose to come here and break down the energy. Perfectionist. Remote viewing in reverse and creative. So you know what I also picked up? That karmics were trying to do readings earlier and that they were not being able to read people. I also know that they were trying to infiltrate and, oh, that makes sense. Because technically it's not Halloween anymore. Yeah, that makes sense. I was told like to not, there was a certain point in the evening just to not touch cards or anything, because these karmics I picked up were trying to send energies to like distort the readings, and it just wasn't necessary. I had other things to do, so I went and did that. But I did pick up that that's what they were doing, and I guess they were trying to confuse people by sending false messages through reading, I guess. It's so strange. I hear that's exactly what they were doing, but that's a no. Venus, Aphrodite, what did I just tell you? Letting you know that they tried, but it did not work. And I'm here. You're good. I'm not going anywhere but up in life. They might have tried to kill me, but I'm still breathing. And I don't plan to stop. And not anytime soon. 10:22. So these people were trying to disrupt stability, home, family life. What did I say? Between the what? Between the what? What? The twin flames. Thank you very much. 17:22. Precisely. Twin flame. So there that is. Artisan. Also the creativity. They could not disturb the creativity and the flow and the peace of the light workers. Perfectionist may be about a few things. I've been picking this aspect up about divine masculine and divine feminines. In some cases, like they may have a very specific protocol or type of thing or structure in regards to what they like. And so if things aren't quite finished to their liking, they don't feel content. Let me give you an example. The builder was looking at his work the other day, and I thought it looked perfect. I thought it looked gorgeous, progressing along just beautifully. But he, as the builder, I could see it because I'm like this too. He had a vision, and since something was not quite exactly the way his vision showed him, he wasn't quite content with it. I didn't even notice. I don't think anybody else would have noticed. But I'm not a builder. And he had the vision. And I remember just last week, I think, looking at him and saying, I know what's going through your head because I'm the same way with my work. People are in awe of what I do. But I feel like for me, I've been functioning on subpar level, comparatively speaking, with the injuries that I've been given. Like, I know how much more capable I am than in an injured state. It's an injury, not a personality trait. So I explained most people either couldn't do what I do or they're blown away by what I do. And for me, I might be doing the bare minimum, but people are awestruck by it. But I also know how much more I am capable of when I'm healed and I'm not so injured. And I said, I'm my own worst critic. You can't tell me shit about me. I've already picked myself apart. That's why they can't gaslight me. I know myself. It's also why I can read right through them. But basically the conversation went from this builder, it's not quite perfect. And from me, well, it looks perfect. And the builder, yeah, well. And I said, you got to give yourself some slack and credit, because from where I'm standing, you're doing an amazing job. And I just could see the gears turning in his head. I could see it. See the vision that he had, and that it wasn't, he was trying to figure out a way to tweak it. I see it. It's they're two different industries, but I do it in my own work. So I recognized it in him. This is an older guy. I think he's married with kids. But he's a nice guy, and he has a good crew, and they've been working really hard. So I bake muffins and I bring stuff, and I let them know when they're doing a good job, and they always are. So that was that. But I remember looking at him in the middle of this and kind of realizing that that's how people look at me. And I said so. I said, gee, that must be how people look at me. You know, you're sitting there, your own worst critic, and everybody else is blown away by what you're doing. And he laughed. A bunch of them did, because they know I'm right. I hit the nail on the head. There it is. Look at what's in my hand as I look down. Entrepreneurialism. I saw it. This is the guy that owns the company. I just know him from the work that they do outside, that's all. Alchemist. But I saw it. I could recognize the gears turning in his head, and why. Mediumship. That probably also has something to do with it. Being able to read people the way that I do, but also just as a visionary, I could recognize it in myself. Now, he was building, but that same concept and structure, it goes with everything I do, whether it's cleaning the house or doing a project. I see it before I do it. Even when I was a kid, my grandmother used to ask me when I'd make jewelry, 12 years old or something, do you see this in your head when you go to make these pieces, or do you lay everything out and kind of experiment? And I say, no, I kind of look at the beads. I look at my collection of beads, and I kind of see what might go good together. And then all of a sudden I can see how it should look in my head, how the end result should look in my head. And then I just work with my hands until what I have in front of me matches the vision in my head. And I didn't understand as a child. I still remember that conversation. I was selling jewelry actually at that point. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but I grew up in a family of them, so unsurprising. However, I'm the black sheep and I took my own route. But nonetheless, I didn't realize that other people don't think like that. I did not realize that not everybody is a seer, or even just a creative medium, or a creative visionary. I didn't understand that not everybody has that ability or can tune into that level of sight or artistry. And it is an art. Artisan. So that's that on the raw channels. Anything else? Psychometry. Ability to pick up psychic information through items simply by holding them. Like holding these cards. I don't have to read them actually for this stuff to pop out. It just kind of does. Or I'll say something and then the cards will shuffle out to match the message I just spoke. There's a reason for that. Writing. Precisely. Spirit guides. Precisely. Spirits have things to say. That's why it happens like that. I speak it and then they have messages through the cards, like written cards. As I'm saying that, they do it. Point proven. I love you. Thank you. What is that? Humanity. Right. And here we are, helping the world. Happy Halloween part 2. Animal administration. Hold on, let's do this because the cats were running around like silly, cheeky little monkeys. Animal. It's very hard to see. Hold on. Animal administration. Oh, that boss energy, recognizing the boss and the creative visionary in others. Miracles. I do know that there are blessings coming, so don't give up. There's teaching also here. King. It's one of the last songs I posted. I was hearing it, Last Man Standing by Livingston. And I don't need your diamond ring. I just need your voice and a melody. I just want your love. Stop selling me. I just want what was it? I don't need the wind that's underneath your wings. I just want to know when you're landing. You don't have to be the king. I just want the last man standing. Neptune. The urge to escape limitations, transcend, merging into oneness. I've been picking that up. Soul merging between the twins. It's when their souls hit the same frequency and they literally become one force. There's no separation point. The urge to penetrate, there it is, the depths of experience and experience renewal, deep transformation, regeneration, and evolution. That's the soul merging energy. It's high. That's one of the highest states. You get to the soul merge, and then immediately after comes union. But the soul merge is only when they're on the exact same identical frequency. They're mirroring. And you cannot have one without the other. When their souls merge, that is when their paths align. King. You don't have to be a king. I just want the last man standing. I just need your voice and a melody. And I don't want your diamond ring. I just want your love. Stop selling me. Meaning you don't have to convince me to love you, babe. I already do. It's in here. It's a spirit thing. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know what doesn't make sense? Past life regression to rational, logical people. Past lives. But just because other people don't understand those things doesn't mean they weren't real. And therefore that love never died. Because your spirits didn't. Just the bodies are recycled. Scholar. And life on earth is school. Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. You're coming my way. Scholar. Clear cognizance. See if that makes that a little bit better. It's not as bright in my face. That's nice. Speaking of the rationality here, the ability to have a clear knowing with no practical explanation for why. But do you really need it though? Right? Not when you're gifted. You don't have to be the king. I just want the last man standing. Thank you. All right. Is there anything else before I stick this deck away that you would like me to pull on? Let's see, shall we? Emotional empath. It's also how I can read people. I feel it. Here. 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 You know? You know why? Physical empath, animal, music. That's funny. Witchcrafting came out. I did tell you about the spell work I picked up. And the music mediumship that came through as I'm sitting here teaching. But you know why I'm sitting here teaching? Because I'm an indigo child. In fact. Yep. Let's see what love has to say. Money cannot buy all the love that's here tonight. It's just you and I. Lift your arms up towards the sky. Can I get a few for Divine Masculine? Also, I picked up earlier some people around the Divine Masculine who, it's like he was bragging, not bragging in a bad way, but he was excited about and passionate about his love for Divine Feminine. He felt so lucky to find her and all this stuff. And one of them was like giving him a pat on the back, like, yeah, good for you, man. But it was a little bit aggressive, maybe not in physicality, but definitely energy. And he doesn't really support this masculine. And then there was another one who was less enthused about it. He still tried to play like, oh yeah, that's nice for you. But it was very evident that if something feels off, Divine Masculine, please trust your intuition on that, because I'm picking up that multiple of the people around you don't have your best interest. They either don't understand this connection, which is not theirs to understand anyway, so it doesn't matter. And so they're misjudging you, which is not new. People can't understand in others what they can't comprehend for themselves, of course. But the others are, some of them are doing this, like the less enthused ones, that was out of jealousy. In fact, I feel like they were both a bit based in jealousy, but one was like, is this dude okay? Is he crazy? He's talking about this girl like she's the best thing since sliced bread. That's what I'm hearing. As an older quote, that's usually something like you hear parents and grandparents hear, if you're a millennial. So this might be somebody that's potentially older a bit. Maybe not super old, but definitely that's an older statement. You don't usually hear that from the younger generations. So true love, this is his true love. This is what he's saying. He's so enamored with her. He's so, how did I get so lucky to find her? How am I so lucky she wants me? She's with me now. This is his true love, and that's what I want to shout it from the rooftop. But not everybody around him is supporting him. Not that he shouldn't do that, but company you keep kind of a deal, and know that there are people who don't have your best interest. So A, probably don't put yourself around them, and B, definitely don't internalize whatever naysaying and negging that they're trying to project, because it's the devil speaking through people. Yep, there it is. I just split the deck to try to disturb your attraction to divine feminine, to cause separation, or to judge your separation, because they can't let go of control. They see that you've surrendered to the divine, which is why you have this divine connection, and they haven't. They're trying to control the situation by getting you to people please. It's like a reverse psychology, whether they know that they're doing it or not. Unfortunately, that just came out. I wasn't even going to speak on that right now, but it came out. So I think that's important, because this could prevent a falling out or a separation period between the twins when God wants them together. And frankly, look, they want each other. Playfulness, express your love, exactly. So instead of telling other people, my darling, why don't you go tell her? Yeah, he says, I'm not ready yet. Perfectionist? I'm not judging or insulting. I'm asking because the card came out. Is that what that's talking about? I'm afraid you won't want me if I don't have enough to offer here. That's silly and very sad. Let me tell you something right now. Money cannot buy all the love that's here tonight. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. Trust. I hear that. She really doesn't want my money. No, kids just came out too. She genuinely may be concerned about children, or they may think he's like being immature or impulsive. Oh, I heard that this morning. Puppy love. They were trying to tell him he's just got puppy love, and it's not. It's true love. It's deep love that he's recognized on a spiritual level from many lives. This is the exact type of behavior that I've seen other masculines. I've seen this exact situation repeatedly. And every time the masculines get in their head, or they let people get in their heads, and they walk away from divine feminine, and then they lose her, and then they're not divine masculines anymore either. I've seen it a few times. So don't do that. That's why this warning is coming up hot and heavy. Some of them did get the warning quickly before and they dismissed it. And that's also why they're getting extra karma. And in some cases, maybe the conversations weren't had because, well, maybe they weren't ready for those conversations. But either way, now is a different cycle, and this cycle is being given the opportunity to be cleared for good. Playfulness. Yep. Yeah. He says, I'm not going to talk to anybody but you about our love. Certainly not, at least until it's solidified. He says, is none of these people matter anyway. Exactly. He's saying something that I said yesterday. He says, are they going to be the one marrying you, divine feminine? No, that's me. Are they going to be the ones having kids with you and sharing space with you? No, that's me. So what do any of their opinions matter if they're not going to have any kind of say in it? And it's none of their business anyway. That's pretty much the energy, and I can respect that. First of all. Second of all, children came out, and then I heard earlier, like just now in the cards, children came out. But I heard earlier divine masculine say something about divine feminine if she has children or a child. He said, I'll be the stepdad to her kids as long as she has my babies. Like, he's like, I don't mind, I'll love her kids like they're my own, but I also want to have I want kids with her, like our own genetic kids, not to replace the ones she has or the one that she has, but to expand the family with our own, to grow, not to subtract. True love and flirt, exactly. So he's being called to flirt. That came out twice with his true love. And give your relationship a chance, which is exactly the opposite of what these people were trying to tell him to do. I hear negging. It's a narcissistic thing, because what? They wanted him to fumble his attraction with her and cause a separation. They wanted him to be codependent, or think maybe that she was codependent, but neither of them are. They're interdependent. And this is why I posted a song earlier, Nancy Mulligan. She was Nancy Mulligan, and I was William Sheeran. She took my hand and we were one, down on the Wexford border. This one was about Ed Sheeran's grandparents, actually, or great-grandparents, and they were told by their families that they weren't allowed to marry each other because their families had different religious backgrounds. But when they were told that, they went and actually got borrowed clothing to wear, like hand-me-down clothing, and just went and had a quick wedding, kind of like a jump the broom kind of a deal. They did go actually get married, but it was very, I hear, frugal. Yep. And then they built a house and had a family, and they are still together to this day. And if Ed Sheeran's grandparents didn't defy their own families, just a heads up and a pro tip for anybody who likes his music, I do, for a long time. If his grandparents did not run away from their families who did not want them to marry because they felt like they had difference in religions or they were too different or something, then Ed Sheeran would never have been born. Just saying. I'm like, maybe he would have come through someone else, but certainly not there. Unrequited love in reverse. Let your friends help you. Yeah. So the friends are trying to convince these masculines not to go towards their true love. That's not a very good friend, babe. That's not a friend at all. That's an op. And you don't need to release your ex. Yeah. You don't need to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. You don't need to keep your enemies close. Those are ops. You don't want enemies in your circle. They're not friends. They're called frenemies for a reason. What they are is within the word. They're enemies. If I keep them close, I can, keep a watch on them. They have a harder time playing in my face. Yeah, but they're closer to you and your family and what you love, so they have an easier time stabbing you in the back. Heart-to-heart conversation. I just heard Divine Feminine. He feels like Divine Feminine has his back, and maybe he's the only one who's had his back in some cases. Reconciliation, which is why he wants to connect with her and why he doesn't want to deal with these karmic people who tried to tell him not to connect with her, not to be with her. He says, you don't understand. I'm also hearing, I'm sorry that I put distance between us. This might be from a past life, but it doesn't have to be. I'm sorry. He says we could have already been together and or even just hanging out, he says right now. Oh, wow. Look what just popped out. Religious factors. Exactly. They wanted to say that these people were too different to be together, to want to spend time together. I hear Belle Wild. Maybe when the stars align, maybe on the dark side, we can be together, be together. Someday soon we'll be together. Yep. Children also, again, like I said, I've been picking that up. Divine Masculine said something about that earlier. I'll be a stepdad to her kids if she has my babies. Sounds like a fair trade to me. As long as the love is genuine on all accords, it is safe for you to love. And it is, seemingly, clearly. Passion, yeah, this is love. That's what I said earlier. He was so passionate and excited about this connection, and he had these people just trying to get him down. It was so sad. I feel like he was so excited about this connection, and he was getting ready to go do something else in his life, a project or something at work, and the passion and excitement for this Divine Feminine was just like spilling over into his work, and it was awesome, and it was so good, and these people were just like trying to piss on his parade. And like masqueraded as if they were being friendly, but the energy was shit. I didn't like their facial expressions either, and I could read right through it. I wish I'd been there next to him. I would have called them straight out. Or whispered in his ear and told him what was up. I heard that. Like a little fairy or an angel. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Kind of like kind of like a duality fairy, right? A duality angel. That's so funny. Get in there. This could be the one, I'm telling you. This is a true love, divine connection. The devil wouldn't be trying so hard to break it up, even through other people, though, if it wasn't. Express your love. So it doesn't matter what they try to do or say, they could not break this bond. So there's going to be communication between them. There needs to be. And frankly, if there was communication between them, none of this would be an issue. The longer you go without communicating, the more openings, don't you see? Do you see the pattern? You're creating for other people to come between you. Like, why? Why? If this is your partner and your best friend all in one, like, why? Yeah, he's getting it now. That message of, well, if these people aren't going to be the ones marrying divine feminine and I am, what do their opinions matter? If they're not going to be the ones making babies with her, but I am, what the hell do their opinions matter? If they're not going to be the ones sharing space with her, living with her, splitting expenses, or it doesn't really matter how the finances go, but however they play out for this couple, divinely how they need to, fairly, cooperatively, it's none of anybody else's business. There are good people in his life and around him. You know what? I have to say this. There were two people, all three of them were guys around this divine masculine. One of them was outright jealous, and he was less enthusiastic about divine masculine's enthusiasm about divine feminine. And he couldn't really hide it as much. The other guy was like weirded out by the spiritual, like the depth and his excitement over this connection, I think. Or like some aspect of it, he just thought like this masculine must be crazy, doesn't even like know this divine feminine, he thinks, or he doesn't understand the connection. But I also picked up a twang of jealousy. And that also I find is a pretty common motive. I've seen it a ton. For people to slander someone as crazy, even for having an opinion or a belief or an understanding that they don't understand. It's a very common thing, especially for narcissistic people, to tell people that they're crazy when they don't understand what somebody's talking about. And frankly, that's just incompetence, which is also called Dunning-Kruger syndrome. Dunning-Kruger syndrome, by the way. Foolish. It's hilarious, actually. But then there was a third guy. So one was jealous and like kind of monotone about it. Like almost rude. Bordering. Hi, baby. And then the other one was, I don't know, like weirded out or skeptical. But the third one, and I heard him a couple times, and I heard him a few days ago, and he keeps sticking up for divine feminine and divine masculine and their connection, and he keeps telling divine masculine to just go for it, and he keeps telling these other people, it was a group conversation, it must have been, because he was responding back to them. He was saying, no, she actually is the best. It was like some of these guys were talking about how they thought this divine feminine was going to be the best thing that ever happened to him, or like the worst thing, because seems to be so in love with her. Like if it were to fall apart, like he'd spiral. But that's not what's going to happen in this case. This is a divine connection coming together in a level of loyalty and permanence that these people clearly can't understand. And I don't think they want to, except for this other person. They can recognize something, and they might have some kind of indigenous heritage, possibly, I picked up, of some kind, and they definitely seem to understand spirituality to a degree, certainly more than these others do, or have an openness to it that's different. But this other third male, over the course of a few days, I've been picking this particular guy up, and he's been reassuring divine masculine that it is the right call, that he's making the right call, telling him not to wait, telling him to just go forward and have the conversation, or go make the offer, or here, go shoot your shot. And then he was telling today these other guys that they were wrong about the connection, and they were wrong about divine feminine, and that divine feminine actually is really good for him, and that she's the best person that he has met or will be able to be in a partnership with, like, he's saying he's sticking up for divine feminine and divine masculine and the relationship between the two of them. To divine masculine's face, rather, and then also maybe in front of his face, but whether the divine masculine was part of this group conversation that was being had or not. If it wasn't, he's sticking up for divine masculine and the counterpart and divine feminine and their relationship, regardless, whether or not the divine masculine. East Coast on the clock. 22 is my twin flame number. I just got angel waves hot. All right, I'm over here wearing little to nothing right now, but I'm hot. That is, I'm not complaining, but that's a protection, spiritual soul merge energy. I'm also barefoot in a cold tile kitchen floor. So that's not me. Hi, free yourself. How are you? Happy Halloween. And November 1st. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, my goodness. Free yourself. I like owls too. Did you know that Navajo Native Americans think that they're bad luck? I do not. They have always symbolized wisdom for me and truth. The ability to see things that others cannot. I had a good day. God, it was very productive. And I had a good doctor's appointment. And I talked to my, I mentioned EMDR this morning, and I did go. It was a great session. But today I had a chat with my, with my doctor, my therapist, actually, about mediumship. And specifically, I told her some of the ghost stories I have. The one about, I was 21 years old. And there was this karmic. I think this is the funniest story. She laughed too. She thought it was funny. She knows what I'm talking about. She knows I'm telling the truth. She knows I'm not crazy. Like, these karmics wish so badly people would believe when they said that. But this karmic masculine, interestingly enough, tries to go around slandering me as crazy for being a medium at that, but he's afraid of ghosts. And so he had a giant flashlight on the top of the refrigerator, and this ghost would knock it off of the top of the fridge, which didn't happen all the time. It wasn't like the floor was unlevel. It would go flying when someone wanted it to go flying, a spirit. So it would knock it off the top of the fridge, and then it would roll this big giant, it was like a police flashlight, those really big heavy ones that you would not want to be hit with. Navajo. Interesting. Dreamcatcher. Key and hourglass. It's pretty. Sounds very pretty. If you're lost and you look, then you will find me time after time. I hear that. But separately, this ghost would rattle the laundry basket full of beer bottles that he had sitting in this apartment. It was all next to the bedroom. And I didn't realize this until like just a couple of years ago, because this happened over a decade ago. But 2 or 3 years ago, I realized what was going on and what they were trying to tell me. Because at separate points, the mag light would fly off of the top of the refrigerator, roll across the kitchen floor, and land directly, every time, in front of that same bucket of beer bottles. In retrospect, they were trying to shine a light on his addictions, because that is why I had to leave him in the long run. So they were trying to warn me. And then I actually told her about this one too. One day he was trying to sneak and do drugs in the bedroom while I was out doing some work on the laptop in the living room. And I didn't know that's what he was doing. And I heard these ping, 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 like something hard and plastic dropping on the floor, but sliding across it. And all of a sudden, you hear these feet run up the stairs all across through the kitchen, and he took like a flying running leap. 5622 from the kitchen all the way to the living room couch to sit in my lap, cower in my lap, because he was afraid of this ghost. Well, I realized also in retrospect the ghost was trying to get him to cut it out because he would do drugs and then further abuse me. I mean, he would do that regardless of whether he was sober or not, but the spirits didn't like him very much, and I didn't I didn't know what they were trying to say at that point. I just knew they were legit. But they would rattle these bottles in the night, and it would scare him so badly. And you know what? The doctor actually and I both had a chuckle over me saying today, I think it spooks people that it doesn't spook me. Like, these people are so scared of the ghosts, and I think I scare them because I'm not. But they were all freaked out. He was so freaked out, 5722, and I would just calmly say, hey, you know, I know you're trying to talk or you're playing or whatever it is, and that's fine. We're all roommates here. That's cool. But, and I know there's no time where you are, you know, there's no nighttime on the spirit plane, but I need to sleep right now. And then immediately the bottles would stop rattling. His beer bottles, recyclables, would stop rattling. And he would look at me like he was about to crap himself, so scared and confused. How did you do that? First of all, I don't piss the spirits off. Second of all, we're on good terms. Third, they don't like you very much. And the whole thing with the hair comb, that was also a message. I talked about that today too. I went to cosmetology school, 5822. And when I was a student, you'd need practice. So he would want haircuts, and I could do it. I was good at it, but it took me a little bit longer because I was a student. And he would like grab my boobies while I was trying to give him a haircut, which was very distracting, and it wasn't like, you know, I was dating him at that point, so it wasn't like a stranger doing it in a salon, you know, it was a little bit different. And that wasn't so traumatizing, but what was then after making the whole process of cutting his hair take longer because A, I was a new student, and B, he wouldn't stop molesting me. Then he would get mad at me because it was taking so long. I'm like, sit the fuck still then, dude. Shut up. All right. And so I stopped cutting hair after that. Like, I have the training, but I don't cut. I haven't. I cut my grandfather's hair when he asked and he needed it. And then all the years that Dell and I were together, he never asked because he never thought I would say yes. And frankly, I don't know about that. But a few months before he died, I told the doctor all of this too. She knows what I'm talking about. A few months before he died, he said, babe, will you cut my hair? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he was shocked. He like didn't expect me to say yes, and I didn't even think about it. I just trusted him. It just wasn't a sweat. It was like, it just was. My house was all clean. The bathroom floor was all nice and freshly bleached and had the little mini trash can, had a brand new fresh liner in it. So I swept up his hair after I was done cutting it in a clean, everything was spotless. My house looked like I was a head housekeeper, like a hotel room. I even point the freaking toilet paper, all right? Keep my closet stocked. But yeah, I heard old habits die hard. So when I swept up his floor, there was legitimately nothing else out on the floor, not in the pan, but the hair. Nothing in the liner, but the hair.
And so I threw it out and thought that was it. Except for a few minutes later, I got this weird intuitive call and guidance. And that's exactly what I called it. Even to the doctor today, I told her, I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to hide. This is a doctor I've seen for years. This is a doctor who helps me recover from the damages that this domestic abuse does, 6122. And so this is a doctor who can absolutely testify to the fact that they're lying and they're liable. Because they tried to say on June 12th of just this year, just a few months ago, that I don't see the doctors. And when I told this particular doctor who I've seen for 4 years straight that they have been trying to say that I haven't seen a doctor in 4 years, and I'm crazy, to try to dismiss and cover up the fact that they're actually just being injurious, and I actually am getting help for the damage they're doing, but well, they're still trying to do damage while I'm healing. So I'm healing, but they're also trying to hurt me at the same time and like re-injure me or create new wounds. Hello. And though they see that, she's faking. She doesn't really throw up because we're so disgusting and abusive. Really? Because my doctor has seen it and so has my mom. She's just self-reporting, this crooked lawyer said. No, the fuck. Yeah, I also told them what was up, but they've seen it with their eyes. My mom had to pull over the damn car. Well, that just means you were car sick. No, I was on my friggin' way to court. And it stressed me out. Because I've been puking all night too and it didn't stop. Motherfuck. Anyway, happy Halloween, bitch. Your spell work didn't work. Why would you play around in those things when you're afraid of ghosts and ghosts don't like you? That's not very smart. But they did it anyway. Graveyard magic to boot. I see it. No. Some of them are going to die for that. Let's pull out this deck. I'm curious now. Not because I said so. Because when the death magic goes back, that's... Well, that's deadly. Especially when you come at somebody like me. Or those that I protect. 6322. God is very sensitive about me. But be careful how you think it's a good idea to decide to treat me. It might be your last poor decision you get to make. So, swept up his hair, and a few minutes later, the holy team said, you need to save his hair, like save some of his hair. And I'm like, you know what, that's freaking weird. But all right, guys, you never let me down, so I trust you. And I knew it was weird. It was fucking weird. And I was so weird. I told him about it. I'm like, babe, I don't know why they're telling me, because he believed in me more than I did at that point. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. She walks like a model. She grants my wishes like a genie in a bottle. And I'm the wizard of love. I've got my magic wand. Also, take my heart, I take my cold honey, and I'll be laughing when your jokes ain't funny. Yeah, I'm the only cheerleader that you ever need. Take my name and put yours in front of it. Well, darn, you can even take my wallet. It's less about that last line. It always is. But I think both masculine and feminine have been really, what did I just say? Focused on making sure everything's balanced as best as they can. Yeah, look, he's jealous of divine masculine lately, and that's why. Like individually and in their own lives, but also so when they come together. But God says, for those being called together now, don't wait. Don't let those other people come between you. You've waited long enough, lifetimes for some of you. There's no need to waste any more time. It's precious. It's the one thing you can't get back that way. So, Yeah, I heard you can make more money. So I saved his hair, like some of it, in a plastic bag. I said, that's weird. They're telling me to save it, so I'm going to stick some of it in this bag, like a handful of it in this bag, and I'm just going to put it, I'm going to put it in my underwear drawer for safekeeping. I know it's weird, but I won't lose it there, and I don't know why, but that's all right. All right, I'm listening. 6626, and I knew it was freaking weird. Okay. But then he died 2 or 3 weeks later, and his mother kidnapped his ashes from me, the same way that she kidnapped his father's ashes from him, even though she had not even seen his father in like well over a decade or more, which was really stressful and traumatizing to him, actually. Hurtful to him, doing all of that. And if I had not saved that hair, the wind just started to whip. If I had not been angelically guided to save a fistful of his hair, I would have nothing to put in that urn that I just showed you at the beginning of this live feed. Because that's where it is. It would be empty. Psychic powers, told you. Healing, protection, traditional remedy. Spreading rumors about you, low self-esteem. Yeah, I picked that up. They thought that that was the way to block people again because it's worked before in the past. It's a way to isolate victims. Ooh, blocked root chakra. They wanted to block people's money. They wanted to scare people. They wanted to block people's feelings of safety and security so they wouldn't make power moves and move forward because they're toxic. These are people who are addicted, drugs and alcohol. Crown chakras are blocked. They have no divine connection. Told you, sending dark spirits or demons and such, that was the spell work. But they're being cleansed out, so it doesn't matter. Always going against you to argue their point of view, but they're not right. They want to argue just to argue because it gets them attention. But they're stupid, so don't. Obsidian, they're being cleansed out, and you're protected. Also, money, abundance. They make bad moves in life and money, and that's why they want to mess other people's up, because they can't stand your grind and hustle. Trying to be just like you in everything you do. That was the other thing I didn't say. I made that first little clip about God is very sensitive about me, but the other one is people who try to copy me are not taking into consideration my level of favor and anointing. First of all, God doesn't love your ugly. Second of all, I outrank you. That's a bad choice for you. It won't work out the same way. That's what I heard. I didn't say it earlier, immediately after I said the other sentence, but I heard them both at the same time. Anything else for DM? I think that's pretty good, right? Divine Feminine, please. Forgiving and learning. I understand, Divine Masculine, I understand that you were confused or scared and had people in your head. And I understand that you want this time together and this reconciliation. So come through, because we're on the same page. She says, it's safe for you to love. I want you to, so just come talk to me. Come through. Come spend time. Like, here's your green light. I hear house party by, who's that? I forget. House party. It's talking about two people coming together and spending time together. Like, he says it don't take but two to have a little soiree. I'll be at your door in 10 minutes. Whatever you've got on, babe, stay in it. You don't need to leave the house to have a good time. I'm gonna bring the good time home to you. 7022. We'll have a house party. We don't need nobody. Turn your TV off. Crank a boombox up. Well, I got you beat on that one, sweetheart. I don't even have a TV here anymore. So, problem solved. Engagement, retreat, children. I used to use it for music, actually, but I don't. Passion. She says, I have excitement and passion for you, too. Divine Feminine says. So somebody's asking why? Because something in it broke, and I don't really watch it enough to need it to pick up a new one. At least not right now. I'm busy. I've got Netflix and YouTube. I'm a pretty happy lady. Stay optimistic about your love life. And you deserve love. Pandora makes me happy. Listen to that a lot. Deception. Yeah, the deception is that people wanted you to be trapped, Divine Feminine, but not want you to know it. And the trap in some cases is not loving yourself. Pay attention to the red flags. They wanted you to internalize that hatred or that isolation energy, possibly by leveraging children, so that you felt bad about yourself and you wouldn't open up to this love or give your relationship a chance. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's not necessarily like Divine Masculine who has people around him giving him bad advice to listen to. And if Divine Feminine were doing that, or she were open to doing that, that might be a temptation or a test for her. But she doesn't. She's already cut people. People can't even come to her to do that anymore. She doesn't have people around her to be able to do that because she's already cut them off because she saw what they were doing, which is why she's recognizing while they're doing it to him, because it's the same shit over again. And she's not having any of it. Happy Halloween! Happy November 1st. Romantic feelings, yeah. Because these people keep trying to come between the lovers and then say, you're not very loving. No, karmics, because you make people cranky bitches who need naps. You need to stay seated and shut your mouths. This is why people don't like you. And stay gone. 7322, past life relationship. And this is worth waiting for. This is a connection that is not, this is not to be pushed out. Even if there are some obstacles or things like that, work through them. Flirt. Let your friends help you. She can't. Because she cut all the fakes out. There's nobody left to do that anymore. Which often makes for a pretty lonely existence on the human plane, but, well, at least you don't have snakes in your grass anymore, right? And then the ones that try to slither up, you can see from the property line before they get even close. It's easy to cut them off that way. Takes recognition, though. Yeah. Karmic just said, she's too psychic for us. And somebody says, too psychic for her own good. Oh, yeah? You think so? You think so? More like too psychic for your good. Right? Not for mine. For you're the one sweating, not me. Happy Halloween. Happy November 1st. Can't surround a lion with a bunch of lazy sheep. The one thing about royalty is that we love to feast. Oh. I heard it. Put these cards away really quickly. Yeah, I heard, don't play with her. You're gonna regret it if you play with her. I agree. I don't think that's a wise choice. of any of them. Frankly. But I bet you hear me now, don't you? And now I bet you wish you'd listened. You're welcome. I did warn you. Duality. Hellfire or holy water? Which switch are you going to flip today? Be careful. Don't flip the wrong Gemini switch. Anything else? No, I think that's good for now, loves. The one thing about royalty is that we love to feast. Put my little station away. Hold on. Get in there. I heard that. Divine Masculine says, "You're so cute." Thank you. Making me blush. DM. I felt that. You're so cutie patootie. You're so cute. How do you not find yourself lovable? I don't understand. Can I help with that? Please? Please? I heard that. Also, me too. Please. Sounds like we're on the same page. Where's my bowl pack? We're off to find the bull pack. Good Lord, is the cat sleeping on it? Possibly. Sometimes he does that. To be fair, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning now. Here it is. I just heard penny for your thoughts. My thoughts are worth a lot more than pennies. Thank you very much. I make a lot of money with this thing. That's why these karmics keep trying to fuck my head up. And the rest of me. Thank you. I'm very valuable. I know that. I don't give a fuck what they say. My little ears sticking out. I'm not wearing fairy ears. Those are just my normal regular ears, but I have had children ask their parents if I'm a fairy in the grocery store before, so that does not surprise me. I didn't mean for them to stick out. That's why you haven't seen them for this whole 80 minutes. Cheers.
I hear little bunny foo-foo. What was it? Down came the little fairy and she said, little bunny foo-foo, I don't want to see you scooping up the field mice and bopping them on the head. Except these karmics ran out of chances. If you understand that little children's song, you'll understand that it's karmics or people being a child, immature child, being mean to animals, and the fairy saying, don't do that. Put them back. Says the lady who saves field mice regularly and any other creatures that need help. I've been thinking about that turkey the last couple of days. I really hope she's okay, and I feel super sad. She separated from her herd and she really slowed down and stayed in the same yard for like 2 days almost, and I don't know if that means she was going to die finally. I kept trying to get her help, but turkeys are hard to catch. Turkeys are funny. Let me tell you a little story about this, because I've been working on it for months. So there's this herd of turkeys, wild herd of turkeys out here. I'm not joking. It's not a phrase or euphemism. A legitimate wild herd of turkeys. I've got tons of videos about it, like actual videograph. But I noticed that one of them, who seemed to be a mom, and she had, like, goodness, the biggest litter of turkey babies I've ever seen. She started limping, and I noticed her foot was getting swollen over the couple of weeks. This was a few months ago, and every time I started to see her, it would be worse. And then her throat, that, whatever that's called, the little thingy, the giblet, whatever that's called, the little, the thing. Divine Masculine says, I like your sound effects. I don't know how else to describe it. Anyway. Shush. Very sad. I'm telling a sad story. Don't make me laugh. I don't want you to be sad. Touche. Thank you. Well, anyway, I'm going to worry about this mama turkey until I know what's up. So that, it was nice. It's a nice thought, but it doesn't fix the problem. Good try, though. Very clever. I appreciate the effort. That was sweet. Very cute. Très magnifique, I hear. Merci beaucoup. Cheers. Funny. So this turkey, her throat, her like thing here started getting all swollen too, and just based on observation, I assume that probably the infection in her foot, because I've been in touch with the game warden a whole bunch, a couple of them. I'm trying to keep tabs on this mama bird. They said more than likely that my speculation was correct. Probably she either got in a fight or she was injured in her foot, and eventually that infection spread up her body, and I would assume in her throat, or possibly it's just in the bloodstream, makes the lymph nodes and all that stuff swollen. I don't exactly know the bird anatomy the way I know others, but they did confirm that that was more than likely the case. And one of them did come down and try to catch her, but she was quick, and they roost in trees, actually. Did you know that? Turkeys, like, they can't fly, but they can flap enough to get up in trees, typically. So they're kind of hard to catch, and this is where this bit gets really tricky, because turkeys are also, they're herd animals, like they're inherently social creatures. The animal card came out a few minutes ago. This makes sense. And I noticed one day she was kind of being picked on by some of the birds in the herd, probably because she was injured, and maybe that's how she got injured. I don't know. But there's just her pecking order, maybe, but either way, the bottom line is when this officer came down to try to catch her, he couldn't quite catch her. So he said when she slows down to the point where you can get close to her, then call us. Or if anything really changes, let us know in between. So I have been. And then last week I was walking down the street and she was sitting in the yard of a neighbor right on the front lawn, like 4 feet away from me. And she didn't move. She didn't run. In fact, when I got closer, she sat down in front of me, which is the opposite. It was an alarm bell for me. So I just let it be. And then I came back because I had to walk down the same way the next day. I came back the next day and she was in the exact same spot. She had not moved. And that's not normal. And so she separated from the herd, which is not normal behavior for them. She's been in the same spot for 2 days. She had been. That's not normal. She was very clearly slowed down. And either still a tricky piece I haven't gotten into. She's gone off to die, which is it's nature, sad, but or I'm hoping maybe she's alive and I can see her. She's obviously slowed down enough where they can catch her now. And I did let them know. But this is the tricky part. Even if they can catch her, turkeys, again, are social creatures and they don't do well in captivity. This is the tricky piece. Usually they will often, whether it be from the stress of things, often it's the exacerbation of stress from being without their little herd, and then also just the stress of being in it. It's like an alien abduction, basically, for a wild bird to be taken by humans, even for good cause. Can you imagine, like, being poked and prodded by animal doctors? It sounds like an alien invasion to me with lights and metal objects. It's what human alien movies are about, pretty much. From a bird's perspective, I imagine it would be similar. Anyway. And so even if she can be caught, the chances of survival are less so for turkeys than they are for other animals more often. I'll just leave it at that. So that's been on my mind for months in the last week. Especially as I've been watching her progressively go downhill. And maybe I take some maybe I empathize with that as somebody who's been battered to shit repeatedly. I might be cranky, but also I love. Just not assholes. Not anymore. I was just going to say, I learned my lesson, and also, you learned your lesson, did you? At the same time. Yes, we did. A long time ago. We need to get out of it. Lay off. I heard, well, you're very good-natured about it. What am I going to do? Cry about it? I don't need to do that. I did that in therapy already. Are you going to cry about it or are you going to buzz up and handle it? First of all, I'm going to do both. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Cheers. I heard that. Silly. You're silly. You love it. I could simmer down now, but frankly, I like me better all feisty and shit. It's a meme. I didn't make it up, but it's currently true. Pack another bowl, shall we? Anything else? Yeah! You know, some of my royal lineage actually does connect to the Fae and the elemental realm anyway, so it's not surprising. Duality. Which one are you gonna get? The flip side. Hellfire and holy water. Choose wisely. I didn't make that up either. It's a quote on the internet. But it's true. So I use it. Greens. Grinder. That was a little loud, sorry. Louder than I meant for it to be. Let's try that again. There's a karmic. Is that a female? Sounds like a female. Or a bitch-made karmic male. Why did we do that to her? So they're panicking. Why did we do that to divine feminine? Oh, are you scared about being caught for trying to fuck me up? Well, by Rebel. So you have a fallen or karmic masculine. Masculine, they don't like this truth stalking. Divine feminine sounds like either online, possibly in person though. I hear in person, definitely in person. That's sketchy, sketchy, sketchy to me. And in other cases, this is a divine masculine wanting to connect. It's like the house party energy. Don't take but two to have a little soiree. Look at this. I still think this is so funny. I forgot I had this actually until I found it a couple weeks ago. I think I was 16 when that was drawn. And they made me a secret agent. And they put a heart on my name. I genuinely think that's funny. Only because some days that's what it felt like having to be dealing with these criminals. Had to uncover all their bullshit just to find some protection. Expose their motives so people would see what was going on and not let it happen. Most cases it was just they exposed themselves as ops. Let's grab a deck, shall we? Because I'm pretty sure what I'm just picking up on is a karmic. Yeah, that's what it is. But I'll double check. We'll see what God has to say about it. Karmic trying to command, demand, or scare tactic me into taking this video down. No, that's a karmic energy. God says don't do that. No, I know. I hear you. Yeah, we're never going to get away with it. She's too good for that. Our trickster spirits didn't work. That came out in the cards. What they just tried to do came out in the cards a little while ago. Something about like trickster, demon, spirits, and they do that. They'll send these dark energies to people, and you have to have discernment because like people in Christian and Catholic religions often say, "Wow, like mediumship's the devil, trickster spirits," and yeah, those do exist. Dark spirits and demons. I mean, like, imagine evil people die. You think they just magically become good people when they die? No.
Not everybody's a good person. Not everybody's a good spirit. Just like there are darker energies than that. And so they like to try to call on those and then command them to go try to convince a light worker that they're a light being, so that that light worker follows what they perceive as a light being when really they're trying to take advice from either a dark entity or a demon or something. And that's a no for me. It's happening for you, not to you. Now imagine you're a karmic who calls on dark spirits and demons, and then that backfires, and the people you send them after don't fall for it and or are protected. Where does that backfire on? Not us. Double mission, channeling, uplifting humanity. Yeah. Pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. Yeah, I know. Devotion and beauty. Priestess, mystic, teacher. Dance. I actually am getting off of here in a minute to go do a little bit of that before I go run through the shower and go to bed for a while. Devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. Happy Halloween on November 1st. Now tell me about, I'm already in the portal, that's why I'm listening. The scare tactic. They want me to take down this reading. Usually that's because they feel like it's a good reading and or it exposes them. Yeah, the take a break card came out. I do need to go hang out with myself for a while, but yep, there it is. Trust your intuition. I already know it's up before the yay or nay cards even come out. You've been training for this for lifetimes. I'm seasoned, dude. This is not new to me. Retreat, rest, refuel. Yeah, take a break. Chill out. You're not alone. Ancient ancestors stand behind you. What did I say? They try to convince you that they're like ancestors or somebody that you should be listening to. What are you clinging to? Because they think that you'll be so desperate, I guess, to hear from somebody or something that you won't discern who it actually is. No. Can I get a solid hard yay or no, please? Thank you. Yeah, I heard that. Thank you. There it is. What I heard clairaudiently while I was closing my eyes and shuffling was the divine say, no, you leave that right there where it is. And why do they want me to take it down? Does it matter? And I know you'll tell me. Because they're scared of the truth that you speak. I almost just got tongue-tied there. They don't want me to speak. They're scared. The truth only hurts if you're a liar, dude. What have you got to hide? The truth is a real one, free. Not to say that learning hard truths isn't uncomfortable sometimes, but with that wisdom, now you know not to go down the wrong path, which is inevitably in the long run typically much more painful and a waste of time than realizing something's a problem in the beginning and avoiding letting it drag out. For starters, you're already doing it is what popped out in the cards. And yes, so my question was, you want me to leave that where it is? And God said, you leave that right where it is. And then the yes card came out. So that's that. It's not the divine. I might be a little sassy, classy, and a whole lot smart-assy sometimes, but there's nothing wrong with this reading or the truth that's being spoken. There's something wrong with the karmics who did what they did and then now don't want people to talk about it. Because they're so embarrassed by people knowing what they did. And now, doesn't that tell you that they know they did something wrong? They so desperately don't want people to know about it. I think that's telling. Quite frankly. They want me to be afraid to speak. Nah, bitch. I fear you. No, bitch. And you're a bitch. And I picked that up in the beginning. Even either a karmic male or a bitch made, either a karmic female or a bitch made karmic male. That was the energy that came up. Warrior woman. If you were not afraid, what would you do? I would stand here and I would tell them to fuck off. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you. Happy holidays. With love, kindly. 10122. Creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Well, that's not very loving. No, not towards people who are trying to hurt people. It's self-love, though. I mean, sometimes self-care is not arguing with idiots, yo. I'm telling a hood rat to fuck off. Way off and not come back. Next. Well, you know what I'll say though? In the bath this morning, I heard divine masculine. I got angry. I got a flashback of a karmic and a past life regression at the same time of the same karmic doing the same shit to me in this life that they did in previous incarnations. So it's not nice. And I was friggin' mad at this asshole. But then divine masculine's energy came through this morning immediately and said, "No. These people are not, don't focus or keep your energy on those people. They're not important. We're moving out of that space of hostility and tension into a place of love. Focus on that with me." And credit must be given where it's due on that one. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. Because that's all that they did. They put people in survival mode. They brought out the fuck you fairy. Happy Halloween. The fuck you fairy. Funny. Oh, I think so. Anyway. Anything else? Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Precisely. Told you. Protection. And he says, I heard that. These assholes aren't relevant. No, they're not. Get out. So, creating heaven on earth, it's happening is the next one. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. I'm also picking up the desire for union between the counterparts as well. I hear the ground up. There's something about a wedding finger, ring finger. The Ground Up by Dan and Shay. That music video is about a motorcycle, I think. Guy on a motorcycle. Protection. I feel like some of this is coming from the divine masculine towards divine feminine, like the partnership here, but it's also coming from the divine. But do you guys remember what I said a few weeks or a few months within the last few months? Is that these new divine masculines, especially the ones that are superior to the ones who fell, their soul blueprint coding, like their draw towards divine feminine, within their coding, Within their God contract, there is a big emphasis on protecting divine feminine. He will inherently feel like he has to, because God has called him to do that. That's part of his contract. And let me explain to you why. Because in some cases, first there were karmics who caused problems, okay? And like in my case, I dealt with somebody who was ex-military. So somebody who had the training to protect, but they chose to be a terrorist and violate my rights, civil and human, with other people instead. They chose to use their comprehension of their training in the military to be a terrorist on civilian turf. These are people involved with hacking my devices and stuff. I think they're above the law. So imagine a divine feminine having somebody who was a soldier, legitimately in a war, failing to protect her from local scumbags that are nothing in comparison to terrorists overseas. Now, don't you think that God would write into this new divine masculine's contract and make sure that that's non-negotiable? It's one of the qualifiers. That's why. Because a fucking soldier failed. Want to know why she had to be warrior woman? Because she had to do both jobs. Thank you very much. If you're going to tell me who I am, you better get that shit right. You talked behind my back. You wasted all your own time. You wanted a piece of that pie. Well, all right. Welcome to my kitchen. It's hot in here, isn't it? Here's your fucking trophy. Here's your fucking gold. Now get out of my face. Acting like you know me. Bitch, you don't even know me. How about that? How do you like them apples? Not very much, do you? You picked Hellfire today. Why'd you do that? 108.22. Called the grace out of me. That means you don't get to kick back and smoke a chill bowl with Frankie. That's on you, boo-boo. Not my problem. But welcome to the rest of you. Cheers. Pick wisely. I'm not saying that out loud, but it's all coming together. Intuitive soul hits and also tribe. There are unions coming through, and also, even if it's not just the romantic partnerships, I know that there are friendships, in some cases business collaborations. For others, this is what we've been working towards manifesting and clearing out cycles for a long time. So keep going. Mirror, honor the connection. Look, twin flames. There are twin unions coming through. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. I'm done. We're done. I might do some Reiki while I finish this bowl. But then I think I'm going to go. I'm not saying that. So thank you. That's twice. 2 for 2. I'm not mad. I'm not complaining. It's a lovely compliment. Thank you, DM. I'm just not saying it out loud. I'm not saying that either. Why do you have to be so cute? He says, come talk to me and you'll find out. Cheers. Anyway. Yeah, there's a karmic masculine or fallen masculine. Why did I do that to her? I'm never going to get her back. Nope. That made divine masculine laugh though. You make me giggle, sir. Funny. So clever. You and me got the mental telepathy heard. This is a ludicrous line from The Best I Ever Had, I think, by John Legend. Best I ever had. Another bed's broke. Back in round 2 now. This car makes her upset. I hate myself for what we did to her. Do you? Or are you upset because of the consequences? Because those are different. Regret and remorse are not the same thing. Just saying. Just saying. Why did we do that? It's because you're weird. And I would say you need professional help. Not the good kind of weird, though. You've been cut off. Dark hearts, that lighter just fell in the sink. Told you it's hot in my kitchen. Your flames have been extinguished. Best you ever had. I can't make it up. It was dry, but there was water from something I was washing earlier. So, you know what? You're right. I can do that. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. It's a good idea, huh? Why don't we try that instead? Shall we? Because then I don't have to keep it over there. And I can stay on screen. We'll see if this works. You playing in those, hmm? You silly boy. Anyway. Hi, buddy. I know Mommy's sleep schedule Got you up, huh? It's a holiday. We stayed up late. We stayed up. I made it the night owl thing. Also, it's a new moon, I believe, today, right? So, of course, they tried the spell work. Oh, sugar. That's fine. We have backups. Who do you think I am? Unprepared? Not today, Satan. Cheers. Kind of kidding, but also not. Well, hey, what's the use being sad over you? Now I can't seem to remember being broken. Well, hey, what's the time? 'Cause you're not on my mind. I'm just making sure I don't forget the moment. And I'm not sad anymore. I'm not sad anymore, no, no. I'm just mad at myself for being dumb enough to love you. I'm not sad anymore. Think I'm gonna clean my apartment, throw out all the things that I don't need. I did that last night. I'm prepared to leave. I'm not staying here. Fuck all these people in this place. See ya. Traveling like gypsies in the night. A Pineapple by Nick D. I like my water with lemon and lime. That's 'cause they're better combined. Kinda like us, you and I. If you were a fruit, you'd be a fine apple. I'd like to try my hand at time travel, so I could walk by you again. We shouldn't have done that to her. I most certainly concur. Just saying. Why did you do that? What's up? I realized that I cannot charge this phone without having to plug it in on the bottom, because then I can't set it up. Gratitude to whoever invented magnetic chargers. Solves that problem. Although, you know what I find a little weird? This freaking headphone jack things. I'm like, I'm not mad if they're all changed now anyway, but does anybody know what I'm talking about? Apple? Like, you can't listen to headphones and charge your phone at the same time. I guess if it's magnetic charger, so it solves that problem, but it was weird for a while. I'll tell you what. I didn't like that very much. Cheers. Divine Masculine says, "Why need a battery pack?" Well, that doesn't hurt that. That doesn't solve the problem if that wasn't available at that point, and it wasn't at first. It wasn't. This one's not dead. I had to look. I mean, I guess technically it's not dead, it's just sleeping. But interestingly enough, it's the turtle one. The turtle. Shh. Shelia, tortoise in the hair. The turtle got wet. And then I happened to grab one that says nuts, because we've been dealing with squirrely karmics. What are you doing? Can I help you, you silly goose? You have the zoomies? You're a goofball. I see that little tail flip. That's what I heard. I wondered what that noise was. He's over there playing with him by himself. Funny boy. I'm so sorry. Shh. I want to hear you. That's right, boy. Shake it off. Do you hear that? Animals. The animal card came out earlier. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. She's just sick of everyone's bullshit. Heard? Also, correct. For sure. Fuck? Get out of there. Fuck me in the backseat. Fuck me in the backseat. Who is that even? For sure, maybe. For sure, not. For sure, For sure, bomb. You know what I also heard earlier? It was so funny. I don't know why. Oh, well, I guess maybe because some of the masculines kind of got like stage fright when it came to talking to Divine Feminine for a minute. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking now. Everybody's choking out. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Chokes, he's so mad, but he won't give up that easy. Back to the lab again, yo. And the beat goes on. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, and now is your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo. Make me king, new world order. Normal life is boring, superstardom. Interesting. Interesting. Hey, I'm not mad. Okay, no, you're right. Touche. idea. That's a great idea, actually. That sounds like probably one of the best ideas you've ever had. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, but we don't need that. Somebody says Halloween candy's half price tomorrow, and that's great. I mean, I had cucumbers and protein today. I once today. When was it? Like 8 p.m. So. Try to make sure when I do, it's full of nourishment, not sugar. It's the epitome of girl dinner. Well, it was quick and nutritious and easy, and I didn't have to think about it, and I was in the middle of something, and it took 2 minutes. So, that was what it was. I didn't even cut the cucumber. So you ate a whole cucumber to yourself? 2 of them. They're baby cukes, but nonetheless. Done. Oh. Don't even start with me. Oh, goodness. I mean, you better be willing to put your money where your mouth is. You want to talk like that to me? I'll allow it. This is so funny. I can't even. Well, how about you come have this talk in person? For fuck's sake. Oh, God. Ow, you made me laugh so hard it hurt. Still not really a complaint, but ow. Cheers. Careful, kitty. What's up, baby? What's up? Ooh. My little monkey. What's up? What do you need? Just some love? Come to bed, Mama. It's awfully late, isn't it? Yeah, sweet boy. Just want some lovings. Oh, I love you.
baby. Let me finish this up, okay? Oh.
Kids calling. Somebody says, "Oh, you took off the wings." Yeah, I'm ready to undress and chill. In fact, there's a book on tape calling my name. I'm very excited about it. Call me a nerd. I don't care. I heard that. Beauty and the Beast. Do you think that bothers me? I'm ready to leave all my furniture here, but I'm not leaving my library. And I'm dead serious. Everything else is replaceable. Cheers. Tale as old as time. You hear that?
Careful, babies. I love you.
Is there anything else? No. God says, you're good to go now. Divine Masculine says, I'm enjoying this conversation. Oh, so am I. Don't stop. He says, I won't. Continue it off screen. Yeah, I need to go chill. It's been a long day. Promise I'm not ghosting you. There's just a couple things I'm going through. No, I don't wanna be a Debbie Downer on your life, so I wait till I'm alright till I call you. Oh, don't stress, I'll be fine. I just need some time to get out of my mind. But I promise I'm not ghosting you.